of 2013. It's one of my classic vinyasa sequences. So when people sometimes think that Iyengar yoga only does static poses, chiseling the details, they forget that vinyasa krama was also one of the things that Mr. Iyengar picked up from Krishnamacharya, though he didn't choose to follow that particular route as Pattabhi Jois did with the Ashtanga yoga. So here we go. First we start off with nice music. So there's Patty. She's in Sank Mudra. Can you see the way she's holding her hand completely? The right thumb is being, the left thumb is being gripped by the whole right hand, and then the hands being brought together with the right thumb touching the left index pad. Sank Mudra, the sound of the conch. So that's how we're beginning the class, listening for the internal sound. Now we go right into Gupta Padmasana. And that's one of the things I said. They teach a lot of the suptas at the beginning of classes. It's tough on the feet, the shins, the knees, the hips, the low back if you're not open. And yet they begin right away with that. That's even at level 1. So here's a way of, see how my pelvis would be so high off the floor. So I give my legs a support so I can open up and relax that area. You can see how bent it is between my waistline and the top of my thigh to where my buttock bone is. So that's how tight my groin is. So I'm always working about inner effervescence, right? Groinal effervescence. But notice I have my legs in Sukhasana, not or half lotus, and I got the belt binding me in as I open up. Then we moved into Simhasana, where now I'm just lifting up and sticking out my tongue in that line. I have to tell you there, although you got Anne, Carla, and Ruki in the background looking on, and you're Patty in the front looking on. I don't have too much of a back bend. Look how straight I am from the arms to the elbows. Oh my God, no back bend whatsoever. That shows you how stiff I am. But I am getting a groin stretch, and I guess that's part of it. So now we've opened our groins, and now Kathy is showing us how to do Pravrita Pavanmuktasana, twisting knee to chest pose. Notice she's using the sandbags on the hand to ground the shoulder so she doesn't move off the floor. Here she's moving it from the hands to the shoulders and then stretching the arms from the shoulder blades out. All right, now I'm going to dog pose. Got my fingers spread nice and wide. Must have been making some contact about the importance of moving those palms. There's Carla doing dog pose with her head supported. Creates a lot of calmness, but also bending one leg. Can you see? Her left leg is bent at the knee. Then you're able to stretch the opposite calf strongly, you see? And then you do it on the other side, see? And you open the back of your legs before you go back to regular dog that way. Then you try to match the stretch of both. Bending, really stretching, and then elongating completely. Then you come back to Tadasana. Poses, we're going to go all on one side and then do the revolve poses and then reverse coming out of that. So you can see this classic sequence where the first few poses are back leg external rotated. Next series of poses, back leg internally rotated. Here it goes. So we start off with triangle pose. There's Patty doing it. And then from there, hit and go into Parshvakonasana. Then into Ardha Chandrasana. And then here's the real tricky one, twisting into Pravrita Ardha Chandrasana. This student is doing a really good job keeping the palm flat to the floor. Sorry, I don't recognize who it is. And keeping that raised foot pretty well rotated inward and level with the hip. Very nice. And then from there, you go and drop back into Pravrita Parshvakonasana, even with the back foot up. You twist, and then into regular Pravrita Trikonasana. And then you reverse the whole sequence. Back to Pravrita Parshvakonasana. Back to Pravrita Ardha Chandrasana. Skillfully back to Ardha Chandrasana. Back into Parshvakonasana. And then finish it up with Trikonasana. And then inhale, exhale, back to Tadasana and feel the center. Very nice. Then we make transitions, obviously, into inversions. So again, you've seen this in so many of the classes that I teach in these level 1, 2 classes. Grill them with the basics again and again. So as you know, you're going to do Tadasana and Trikonasana. Those are basic poses of their categories. Sirsasana is the basic category pose for all the inversions. You'll see in another shot I have weights next to my elbows to resist out against and then resist my shoulders up. So I'm doing it there. You can see I'm tilted to one side. Now here's Ekapada. You can see how the line is off a little bit, that her top leg is behind the median plane and her descending leg is not completely level with the hip socket. What can you do? All right, so then we moved into Baddha Konasana. You can see here I'm role modeling. And then Parshva Ekapada with the white wolf doing it, but you can see he's really off. Besides the fact that he set up his mat so it's not perpendicular to the lines of the wall. So already visually you're kind of off that way. But you can see how his upper leg is tilted away from the midline and the lower leg is doing a decent job, but you know, he has to move the median plane. So he's not in kind of a leaning tower, Vakratasana, leaning tower pose in Sirsasana. Nonetheless, we did that then, Upavishta Konasana, wide leg stretch with the resistance of the elbows, and then open up the chest. You've seen this in other sequences, that after headstand, Viparita Dandasana with the head back really stretches and opens the cervical vertebra and the upper thoracic vertebra. And then there are other ways to do this if not just through the chair. Then always twisting is very good as a neutral gear. I like Joe and Tom here, looking very, very deeply inward. So you'll also notice that in this particular variation, they have the tubular pranayama pillow underneath the tailbone and coccyx. So that was something, if we go back to the previous pose, might have been hidden, whoops, in the way the, you can't see the pose, see, but if you really look closely enough, you'll see that's what that extra support is between the student's back and the chair. So now you see they're sitting on it still. That's lifting the tailbone up, and they're using the twisting of Bharadvajasana to bring them back to neutral gear. And then always finish with something where there's a chin lock. If it's not shoulder stand, then very often it's Setu Bandha. You can notice how we have the head slightly lower than the shoulders, the chest open nicely, and belting the legs together. Even though you can see the student's legs are not together on the midline, certainly going to holler at them, right? Or we could belt them together, but that's just how the setup is. All right, and then you're ready for Shavasana. But in this case, we're doing this Gupta on the floor. And notice how we have the bolster at the base of the shins. Like when you go to a massage therapist, don't they always do that? And that kind of relaxes both the low back and moves it into a tilt. I'm surprised I don't have blankets underneath the student's trunk. But nonetheless, see how the weights are there? They help to bring the tailbone down and lengthen the low back. And that's all she wrote for today. Hope you enjoyed it.